Om. Om Sri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Sri Saraswate Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Shankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Lokashankaram Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha Om Sri Tapovana Sishyaya Namaha Hari Om. Let us chant the Shanti Patha for Chandogya Upanishad. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshrotram Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakuryat Anirakaranamastu Nirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. We are doing Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 6. Right now, we are on the section 8 of chapter 6. The first 7 sections of this Upanishad do the Tatpada Vichara, means Brahman and Jagat. And what it says is, Brahman is the essence of the Jagat. So when you say essence, if you take the essence out, whatever is there, it doesn't exist. So essence means existence of the universe. So the essence of all the golden ornaments is gold. So what is Jagat? Jagat is nothing but Brahman with the names and forms that we give. Our attention is on the names and forms, but we do not see the Brahman. When our attention is on the total existence, like space, then we realize within space, all the objects are present. But what we do, we break ourselves into individual space, like a part space. And then through this, and we see that as separate space. But when we see the whole thing as one common space, that is called Sat. In that, matter appears. But we are being so conditioned all our life only to look at the objects. Even if the Guru teaches Sat is there, and it is reflection in your individual mind, if you are using that reflection, you forget the original. So world is nothing but a reflection in your subtle body. Now you again look at the world through the reflection. When you look at through the reflection, the condition of the reflection decides what you look. Just like on a mirror, when the space reflects, or when my face reflects the mirror, the image in the mirror has two connections. One with the mirror itself, and the other one with me. But in this case, Chidabhasa has the illumination of the Chit. The conditioning of the mirror determines what it looks. It would not look at itself. When it looks at itself, then everything in the world looks at it as Atman, as Sat. But it only looks through the Chidabhasa as a limited reflection, then condition of the mirror affects it. That is what the problem is. So the Guru is trying to tell you, you would go back to your pure being and then see whatever is appearing in you as consciousness with names and forms. That pure being is like space. What appears in it is names and forms. Within that pure being and awareness. But we forget awareness. We only look at bits and pieces presented to it through the Sat. This, that. So, in other words, it is like book is, table is. The easiness is called Sat. But when you look at it only, the book, forget the easiness. Easiness is common to all of them. That is Sat. So the father is trying to explain to the son what is Sat is. What he said is, he is giving very common four examples. One is sleep. And in deep sleep, he's saying that is Swarupa. That is Sat. Why? Because your Chidabhasa is absent. Chidabhasa means the projecting mind, which is seeing only names and forms. Because of its conditioning, it's absent. That is Sat. Swapiti, you use the word. Swam apiti. Because you are going back into your own pure self. That is Chit. Sorry, that is Sat. So, but self-realization only takes place when you are aware, when Chidabhasa looks at it himself and then forgets about the limitations. But he's looking out as though he's different. When he's looking at himself as consciousness and awareness and all-pervading presence, like in deep sleep, that only takes place. So first you have to understand what is Swarupa. What is Swarupa? Swarupa is where you merge. Where you merge, where Chidabhasa merges, deep sleep. Your Swarupa is when the mind is absent. You become that. So I often mention, when you identify yourself with the space, you become all pervading. Then you have experience, you're not touched by the individualities. They might appear, but they are not you. Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, Sri Krishna says, Yatha sarvagatam saushmyat akasam nopalipyate. Just like akasa is not wetted by objects in it. Sarvatra avastito dehe tadatma nopalipya. In the same way, Atma is not contaminated by any objects and thoughts. So pure Sat is infinite. When the mind stops, you are infinite. Because Chidabhasa is absent temporarily. Between thoughts, it is absent. Chidabhasa is absent. When your eyes are open, you identify with space-like presence. Called sthiti, Sat. Not particulars. When you shift your attention to the particulars, you forget the background. That space-like presence is like deep sleep, but with awareness. It's like reflection looking at itself, looking at the original face. So he gave example of deep sleep. So in deep sleep, you are happiest because you have merged into yourself. Now there's no changing. Chidabhasa means mind, ego, they are all called together Chidabhasa. Senses, which are illuminated by reflection. So that is absent, deep sleep. So Chidabhasa when goes back into original consciousness. So deep sleep that. So now the process is, how do we do this? As I already mentioned, if exactly Akhandakara Urti, which is unbroken like space, have the practice of that, not identifying. Then that Akhandakara Urti, when eyes with eyes open, is a non-reactive presence, being and aware. That is there between thoughts. But now you bring that to the fourth, and then thoughts become in the background. Sthiti becomes your nature. Thoughts are coming and going. You are not reacting. As you react with a Chidabhasa, ego. You react, let it, most of 99% of them, they don't bother you, but we react by thinking about too much. That habit will go away from you. That state is possible, but you have to practice. So then you are awake, you are asleep while awake. Asleep to the world. Awake to yourself. That's what Gurudev used to say. Swami Chinmaya Mission. He used very frequently say, man of the wisdom is not the man of the world. Because world is in him. He is not of the world. So world appears in him, but not he is of the world. So that's one. That is possible when the foreground shift comes, the background comes to the foreground, and then foreground names and forms go to the background. That's possible. Then he gave another example. He said he gave an example here. Just like a bird tied to a pole goes around and around. Then when it is tired, it comes back to the pole to rest. The same way, manas or Chidabhasa, which projects happiness outside, keeps on, and then it goes back and comes back to its source, where it's getting support. In this example, that is Atman, Sat. So it's a beautiful example. So it is now that Sat, although you cannot be an object, you cannot see it as an object, because Sat is the essence of the whole universe, including you and me. You cannot see it as object because it is you. So where you merge, you are Sat. And world also merges into the same Sat. Okay. So how do we realize it? By realizing your true nature, your own self as Jagat, the Swarupa of Jagat. Your Swarupa is same as the Swarupa of the Jagat. Jagat minus names and forms is pure Sat. Me as I so and so is made of so many names and forms in my mind. Me minus my names and forms is Sat, pure Sat. So Sat is equal to Sat. That is how the process of thinking is going on here. Okay, that's number 2. Now, he gives example of hunger. When we are hungry, we eat. Now, what causes the hunger? The juices, enzymes and the juices, it's called asanaya. This is the juices in our stomach They start making a noise and they ask, and then you immediately start feeling hungry. So he is saying that when you eat, because of that you eat, then the same asanaya, the food you have eaten goes into a system, then it is distributed into your body by the fluids. So your body is nothing but a formation of the juices that are inducing hunger and then consuming the solids and distributing it. So the example he's giving is asanaya, the annam that we eat is the cause and the body is the effect. The process is using the juices which distribute to the body. So who are we? We are nothing but matter, but we forgot. So he explained that we are nothing but matter because food is taken in and food is converted into this physical body. So you are the effect. The cause is Prithvi. See, when there are 2 or 3 steps, we forget the cause. And then we only look at the effect. And then we forget the cause. He is trying to take our attention to the Prithvi is the cause and body is an effect. So you are not. You are a product of the Prithvi as a body. Then focus on the mat Prithvi. What is Prithvi? It goes back to the old um, previous examples, previous sections. Prithvi is a product of Apaha. Apaha is a product of Tejaha. Teja means Agni principle. And Agni is a product of Sat. So even matter that you think and you lost yourself into my body, my all this is nothing but Sat appearing as matter. When 2 or 3 steps take place, in each step you forget yourself, and then finally you concentrate on what is the final, which is the last effect. But the teacher is telling you even the food you ate is essentially coming from Sat. Only Sat is there. Only gold is there. No ornament is never there. If you know Sat, you know everything. So even the body is nothing but Sat. If you actually go back by logic to your source. This is up to mantra 4. We did up to mantra 4 last week. So let us go to mantra 5. अध यत्रैतत् पुरुषः पिपासति नाम तेज एव तत्पीतं नयते तत् यथा गोनायः अश्वनायः पुरुषनायः इति एवं तत्तेजः आचष्टे उदन्या इति तत्र एतदेव शुङ्गम् उत्पतितगुं सौम्य विजानीहि न इदम् अमूलं भविष्यति इति अथ यत्र एतत् पुरुषः पिपासति नाम तेज एव तत्पीतं नयते तत् यथा गोनायः अश्वनायः पुरुषनायः इति एवं तत्तेजः आचष्टे उदन्या इति तत्र एतेव शृङ्गम् उत्पतितगुं सौम्य विजानीहि न idam amulam bhavishyati iti. Now he is now playing the words with thirst. He used the first sleep, which is direct method, which we experience. Then he took the word, took the experience of hunger. Now he's taking the experience of thirst. These are all three different, actually they are going to give four. This is the third one. Even the experience of thirst is going to explain how it actually can be related back to the Sat. Here is saying, Adha, yatra etat purushaha means all of us, pipasati nama, when he is said to be thirsty, patum ichha, patum istati iti pipasati. Patum ichha pipasa. Then it becomes a verb, pipasati. Patum istati iti pipasati. Nama, when a person is desirous of drinking something, thirsty, teja eva tat pitam nayate. What is drunk is driven by tejas. What he's saying here is, when you say I am thirsty, the thirst is caused by Jataragni inside us. You feel throat is parched, dry. The wetness in throat is gone. How? Jataragni has followed it. Yes, yes, it is. That's correct. Jataragni has followed. Okay, so you are thirsty. That's called Jataragni. So Agni, Jataragni is the leading indicator of desire for water. In one of the earlier examples, he said, when you are active, you perspire. When you are active, you create heat, and then heat produces perspiration. The example was given in the one of the sections we covered already. In the same way, heat is the root cause, and then it drives water consumption. Just like the water in the stomach, juices drive the eating. In the same way, the heat in the body drives the hunger. When you run, heat is generated. And then some of the muscles get dried up. Then you drink water. So which is the cause? Heat. What is the effect? You need now support it with the water. Therefore, tat pitam nayate, tat yatha, whatever is driving is like the leader. And he is giving example, he is given earlier, yatha, gonayaha. Gonaya means the person who is leading cows. Ashwanayaha, the person who is leading horses. He is called Ashwanaya. A person who is leading horses is called Ashwanaya. A person who is leading cows is called Gonaya. In the same way, Purushanaya, person who leads the people, is called leader of people. Ityavam tat tejaha achaste udanye iti. Udanya is actually now that which drives the water. Udanya in this case, Agni. If you look at the dictionary meaning of Udanya, it is same as Patumiccha, like Pipasa only. That's all. But Upanishad, Shankara Bhagavan, Shankara Bhashya, so that is why they gave the play with the words and say it is Udanya. And the derivation is correct. It can be derived like this. Just Asanaya is given a definition as liquids. Asnaya means desire to eat. Here, udanya is a desire. Udanya means desire to drink. But udanya, they have given what that udakam naiti iti udanya. That which leads consumption of water is which agni by derivation. That way they derived it. So udanya iti. That is how scholars say it is udanya. Tejas. Tatra etadeva sungam utpatitagam somya vijanihi na idam amulam bhavishyati iti. So using the water as the effect, the cause is fire. The example is given as fire. So the body which is taking water is made up of Agni, because Agni is the leader. So body is made up of Prithvi earlier he was saying, now he is saying Agni. Which, na idam amulam bhavishyati. So it is Agni and water. Basically, Agni is a leader and water you are drinking. So earlier Prithvi is a product and water is also consumed, it becomes body. Agni is the leader, but water is essentially what is taken from outside. So Prithvi and water are nothing but the causes and effect is this body. Tasya, for that water, tasya kva mulagam syat. Because it is the water consumed is driven by Agni. So what is the moolam of that? Adbhi somya sungena tejo moolam. Now go back. The root of Adbhiya means water is, by this discussion, go back to fire. And then Tejo Moolam Anvicha, Tejas Saumya, Sungena. Now consider from the previous knowledge, Teja is nothing but by the Sunga means Karyam. Tejo Moolena, Sun Moolam Anvicha. Go back to Sat, which we are. Sun Moolaha Somya. That Sat is the essence of Ime Somya, Ime Sarvaha. Okay, actually, I did not read the sixth mantra. Let us read the sixth mantra and then we chant it. Sorry about that. Yes. Tasya kvam molagam syat anyatra adbhyah adbhis somya sungena tejo moolam anvicha tejasa somya sungena sanmoolam anvicha sanmoolat somya imas sarvaha prajaha sadayatanaha satpratishthaha yadhanukalu somya ime somya iman tisro devataha purusham prapya trivurtir Udekaika bhavati taduktam purastadeva bhavati asya somya purushasya prayato vang manasi sampadyate manaha prane pranaha tejasi tejaha parasyam devatayam. So I will read sixth mantra again. Tasya kva mulagam syat anyatra adbhyah adbhis somya sungena Tejo moolam anvicha, tejasa somya, sungena, sanmoolam anvicha, sanmoolat somya, imas sarvaha, prajaha, sadayatanaha, satpratisthaha, yadhanu khalu somya, tisro devataha, purusham prapya, trivurtihi, trivudekaika bhavati, taduktam purastad eva bhavati. Asya somya purushasya prayato vang manasi sampadyate manaha prane pranaha tejasi tejaha parasyam devatayam. Okay. So mantra 6, in mantra 5, just like the leader of horses, the leader of cows, the leader of men, in the same way, Agni is the leader of water. But water is essence of body. So also Prithvi is the essence of the body. So if you look at the water as a moolam, tasyakva moolagam sat anyatradbhyaha. So now the water we drink, you have to know that once you know it is the cause of the body, just like food is the cause of the body. But now you now investigate what is the cause of the water. Sungena tejo moolam. The cause of it is tejas. Tejasa Saumya Sungena Sanmoolam Anvichya. Now what? Now we have gone up to Tejas. Tejas means fire. Now what is the root of Tejas? Sat. In the first two sections, second or third sections we discussed it. And Sun, then what is Sat? Bhagavan Sadeva Saumya. From there everything has appeared. So Sanmoola Saumya, that Sat is the essence of imaha sarvaha. All of it appears in sarvaha. Prajaha, all people. Our focus is on water and matter and Agni. But when you are through intelligence, when you clear your mirror, you now the Upanishad is trying to tell how to clear the mirror. Then the reflection looks back at itself and then it goes to Sat. One famous scholar I read a lot. He says, Atma is the door. So he says, if you look at the door, what is Atma? It is the wood. If you look at the wood, what is its Atma? Tree. What is the Atma of the tree? Seed. What is the Atma of the seed? Prithvi. But we start with the door. We never go to wood. In the same way, if you look at yourself, that's what Upanishad. You forget how you formed. You are only performing all your operations at the effect level. And then you forgot what made you, where you came from. In fact, he goes further. He says, Prithvi is what is the cause of Prithvi? Water. What is the cause of water? He says, water is the cause of fire. What is the cause of fire? Air. What is the cause of air? Space. Now look at this guy. That he's a great scholar. What is the cause of space? You. This is unbelievable explanation. Without you, space doesn't appear. Forget about the names and forms that appear later. That is why I keep on telling the only way you can, that Sat is existence, consciousness, awareness, like space. Akhandakara Vritti it is called. Now, right now, your awareness and being, right now, full. Anything that appears in you is only an image in you. Upanishad is trying to take you back, back, back and tell you, you are that infinite presence, even now. So, Soumya, Tisro Devataha Purusham Prapya, Trivurtir Udeka Ideka Bhoti Taduktam Purustad Eva. So you go back to yourself, then you go, you remember previously I already explained to you, these gross elements, they come you, reach you, and then they become divided into gross matter, which is discarded as stools, and then as flesh, and then as mind and water. So you have formed from these. I already explained to you. But these are all effects. Even those elements, when you go back, so basically gross body is made of gross elements. Gross elements are made from subtle elements. And subtle elements also go back to Sat. So if you don't see the objects in the names and forms, but you still exist as pure consciousness. So the best you can do is feel like a space. Within space, others appearing, but you never consider yourself as space. That is Sat. You consider yourself as this and then that. So you are already at the level of effects. Chit plus Namarupa in here. Sat Namarupa out there. In my mind, the Namarupa is there. Conditioning. And then same Namarupa is out there as Sat. So now I can never see door as wood. Because my Namarupa plus Sat is there. Just like in my mind, Chit, mind means awareness. Is awareness, consciousness, it is still there. But then I only see Chidabhasa, names and forms. So here, you go back, he's saying, with awareness and being first, and then world next. Like that, you develop that. So now here, Purusham Prapya, Trivurti Taduktam Purustad Bhavat. Asya Saumya, now this section is extremely fascinating. He actually covered already three aspects. How to go back to Sat. This first aspect is deep sleep. That is your true Sat. But you are not aware. So you have to undo Nama Rupa with open eyes. And number two, he talked about asana, hunger. How to go back to Sat. Number three, he took the pipasa. How to go back to Sat. This is the effect. This is made of water and food or Prithvi. Then go back. Three. Now, fourth one is this is a very fascinating example. We'll spend some time here. This is the example of death. See, our life is made of sleeping, waking, eating, drinking, and finally death. Fourth, birth and death. Death and death, but this he takes example of death. Very fascinating. This part of Upanishad is very interesting. That example, of course, in the same mantra it is there. Asya, this jiva, Saumya, Purushasya, jiva here. Prayataha. When he is getting ready to depart. Walk. Here, walking is all the senses, organs of action. manasi sampadyate. The person is on the deathbed. First step it happens is all the organs of action, including speech, they withdraw into the mind. You say his vak has fallen. He is dying, his vak has fallen. Now the person has something in his mind. His eyes are moving, but he cannot say anything. He sometimes even have tears. Cannot say anything. What does it mean? Vak has withdrawn into, all organs of action have withdrawn into mind. He might be able to recognize people, he might be able to move his eyes, and he might smile. But mind is active, but sense organs, particularly action items, have gone. Here some commentators ask the question, why is he still suffering? So because he has, Jiva is made of Kartrutva, Bhotrutva. Kartrutva is gone, but Bhotrutva is still there. He has some attachments, and people also, Bhotrutva means Karma Phala. So still has some breaths left. Bhotrutva is still there. Vang manu sampadyate. Manaha prane. Then after some time, he stops making gestures. But he's still breathing. So manaha has gone into prana. So he's not recognizing people. He's still alive. Breathing is still active. Some legs and hand may be shaking a little bit. I will read Shankara Bhashya here. I mean, unbelievable Bhashya he writes. Pranaha tejasi. Now you remember prana is the product of water. Some section. Pranaha tejasi. Prana also withdrawn into heat. What is heat? The body starts to become cold. Look at how scientifically it is. All these 4 examples, how scientifically Upanishad is. Pranaha tejasi. Body is still warm. People who are around say, they will touch his body, oh, he's still alive. They cannot feel the prana, but deep inside there is some. Tejaha parasyam devatayam. Finally, Tejas also goes to the Sat, pure being. So all these effects, when our mind is on the effects, including the body, they actually came out. Right? Don't miss the whole point. The point is, from where we came out is our real truth, karana. Where we live is karya, is effect. So where we merge is the cause. So last week I mentioned it, I will repeat now. Our deep sleep is our true nature. Our waking and dream state are the roles we are playing using the effects. Our deep sleep state is pure Sat. There is no Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa, the moment it comes active, it identifies, it becomes broken. And then effects overtake the cause. Then we are all looking at the effects. When we forgot who we are. So right now, in this moment, right now itself, you are that cause. And that is possible if you are, as though you just identify with the pure Sat, like space, all pervading. Then transact. So it's possible. Being and awareness as a foreground, and then objects coming and going for transaction is still possible. After transaction, you go back to as though you are like space. Unreactive, non-reactive. So in this context, this particular part, Bhagavan Shankaracharya's Bhashya, I will read. It's so fascinating the way he writes it. Asya was He Saumya Purushasya Prayataha, the Prayanasya. He says Mriyamanasya, the person who is dying. Vak Manasi Sampadyate. Manasi Upasamhriyate. Speech is withdrawn. Adha, now you see how funny writes. Tadha ahu jnatayah na vadati iti. Then people around him, jnatayah, relatives, na vadati iti, they say he's not talking. Manapurvako hi vak vyaparaha yadvai manasa dhyayati tad vacha vadati. Now they are saying he's not talking because they know mind is the cause, and then whatever mind thinks, speech puts out. So when vak stop, then say, okay, vak has gone into the mind because vak comes from the mind. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya is explaining that. So they are saying vak is gone, but mind is there. And then he quotes Upanishad. That's in greatness. Nrusimha Purva Tapani Upanishad. I don't know where he studied all that. He quotes Upanishad. It came from the Upanishad, that statement. Iti Srutehe. Then he is continuing. Vachi Upasamhrutayam Manasi Mano Manana Vyaparena Kevalena Vartate. When the mind, Vak is withdrawn, now Manas remains as mind without any ability to talk. Manasa Vyaparena Kevalena Vartate. Just like remains as just pure mind. It has no other ability to follow. Manapi yada upasamhriyate tada manaha prane sampannam bhavati shusupta kale iva. See, this is where greatness of Bhagavan, I mean Shankaracharya. Manaha api yada upasamhriyate, when mind is also withdrawn, tada manaha prane sampanna yada, and then mind is withdrawn into the prana, just like in deep sleep. This I did not say because I see, look at the clarity with which he said it. When the mind is absent, it is deep sleep. And that is also samadhi, but with awareness. With open eyes, if you go, mind goes into space like a feeling, it is still samadhi with open eyes. That's what Vedanta teaches like that. Tada is parshvastaha jnataha navijanati iti ahuhu. Then the people around him, they say, he doesn't know. Jnataha means people around him walking and looking at him, they say, na vijanati. But the mind has now gone into prana. So the people around him say, they remark, Navijanati iti ahuhu. They say, oh no, he doesn't know. Now his eyes are not moving, his speech is not trying to say anything, his mind is also now went back into prana. Now he's also in deep sleep. Pranaha cha tada urdhva uchasi swatmani upasamhrita bhashyakaranaha samparga vidyayam darshanat hastapadadin vikshipan marmasthanani nikuruntan iva utsujan kramena upasamhritaha tejasi sampadyate. Even then a person sometimes they vigorously they shake their hands and legs and all that. It means prana is also slowly going back into the tejas. Shankaracharya is dramatically. Hands and legs are shaking. So prana is going back into their marmasthana, their beginning stages. Understand? Nikuruntan, as they are cutting off, one by one they are cutting off at the roots. So Kramena upasamhrutaha tejasi sampadyate. Even prana goes slowly, it can cut off into various aspects, it goes into tejasi. Tada ahuhu jnataya. Then people around him, ahuhu, they say, jnataya, say, na chalati iti. Now he is not moving. The process of death, he is explaining. Mrutaha na iti. He is not dead yet. Na mrutaha iti na vachiti santaha deham alabhimanaha. Sorry. Mrutaha na iti va vichikitsantaha deham alabhimanaha ushnam cha upalabhimanaha deha vishno jivati iti. So now the people around him now will touch his body and feel he's still there because there is the heat. So Tejas, prana is coming back to Tejas. And then Manas is coming to the prana. And Tejas is body heat. Tada tadapi ausnalingam tejaha upasamrete tada tat tejaha parasyam devatayam prashamyati. Even when that heat is not felt, body started being cold, he is saying he went back into parasyam devatayam. He went into the supreme being. Then he writes a beautiful conclusion. Tada evam kramena upasamhrute swamulam prapte cha manasi tatstaha jivaha api sushupta kalavatu nimittopasamharat upasamhriyamanaha san satyabhisandhipurvakam chet upasamhriyate sat eva sampadyate na punaha dehantaraya sushuptat uttisthate. यथालोके स भये देशे वर्तमानः कथंचित् इव अभयं देशं प्राप्तः तद्वत् इतरः तु अनात्मज्ञः तस्मात् एव मूलात् सुषुप्तात् इव उत्थाय मृत्या पुनः देहजालम् अविशति यस्मात् मूलात् उत्थाय देहम् अविशति जीवः. He writes now, unbelievable commentary. He says, in the same way, if you have that clarity about where you are from, Jiva is nothing but appearance in you. And then just though, if you go back to Sushupti as real, and if you have that clarity while alive, then you become free from fear. Because you have shifted an identity to Sat Padartha. Sadeva sampadyate na punaha dehantaraya sushuptat uttisthate. Again, he does not wake up from the out of that Sat Padartha, he does not come out like you come out of sleep. That experience of realization while alive, if you have that I am that Sat Padartha, which gives existence to the limited matters. and thoughts, feelings, emotions, perceptions, names and forms. They all have names and forms. They are conditioned consciousness. Unconditioned consciousness is like space, like deep sleep. Sat. Those who have that clarity, even though when they die, they would not return. They would not return. That's what he's writing. Those who do not have that clarity are afraid of death, are afraid of these things, then they will come back just like they came up back from sleep. Why don't they come back? Because you have realized you are that unconditioned, pure Sat. Space like awareness, unbroken. It's not like a part space, it is a total space. That's why I keep repeating this. Be aware like space. यदा सर्वगतं सौष्म्यात् आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वस्तावस्थितो देहे तदात्मा नोपलिप्यते. This is chapter 13 Bhagavad Gita. Very sukshmatva is what? Is not being conditioned. That's all. It's like space. With eyes open, you can be in samadhi. Then space it comes into the foreground, and then experiences go to the background. Part space goes to the background, you become total space. In you, every part space appears. As a son, father, wife, husband, whatever it is. And then you interact. But Samoham sarvabhuteshu namedvestosti na priyaha, Sri Krishna says in chapter 9 Bhagavad Gita. That awareness of presence is there in you. World is in you, you are not of the world. Even if the body drops, you affect. That's all. That's what he's saying. यथा लोके सभये देशे वर्तमानः कथंचित् इव अभयं देशं प्राप्तः तद्वत्. Suppose you are in a country where you are living with fear. Then you go to a different country, then you don't have fear. In the same way, Bhagavan Shankaraja, in the same way, when you lose the identity with the little things, constantly trying to talk, constantly trying to impress whom you are impressing, because you are forgetting you are infinite. Rut is going inside, the rut is coming out. You cannot sit idle. That is the problem. So he's saying that is leaving the fear. यथा लोके सभये देशे वर्तमानः कथंचित् इव अभयं देशं प्राप्तः तद्वत्. When he goes to a different country, then he becomes fearless. In the same way, in the same body, when you don't identify with limited ego and limited projective mentality, then you, in the same body, you are free. It is here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.